I'm talking about general property. I can send somebody to vote for me, but it can't be a committee member. It has to be a non-committee member at all, but it has to be a qualified voter in the county.
Are you guys?
No, I'm not aware of that one. That's
So we need to figure out a way to leverage that.
Yeah, it's
Worry
like-
about it a little bit, but it's just never pop up. She said that she wanted to be the one to use it. Anyway, so proxies, just know that the rules allow me, for instance, to try and give my proxy to somebody that's, they have to be not committee members, but they have to be just vote. Qualified voter.
I don't recall that. Is it the RPM rules or?
And I verified, like I said, verified with AI, that that's the way, it's unusual, but that's the way the rules are. So you have to keep up with it. Obviously, some sort of this.
You're there.
There is a way to have proxy votes actually count. So the salt mixture.
Okay.
Yes.
Check on the track.
Yeah. My primary is traffic. She always has conversations. You know,
Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies, great national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to radios.com and you'll get 60% off free UPS shipping. Metro Radio, get an extra 5% off.
50-50 doesn't always mean half and half. Sometimes it's a full-fridge flex. The idea of 50-50 flex isn't just a freezer. It's not just a fridge. It's all important. As the industry's first full compartment three-way vertical freezer, 50-50 flex.
I looked up, man. They put a temporary filling in. She said, I don't go crazy eating on that side, but she said, you're going to
boxing matches.
Yeah. So in November, they're going to put a crown on. That's the earliest appointment they could get. But I'm happy. So she said, now this might hurt. And she squirted it with the cold water, and then she blew it dry. I said, yeah, that hurt. And then with the minute she slapped that, the filling material on, pain stopped instantly.
All right. How's the rest of you feeling?
I'm getting there. Physical therapy is helping on the hip, so Kenny, I just told the girls out front. I said, I fully understand what my mom meant now before she passed away when she said, Steve, I'm really looking forward to, she never called me Steve. My mother and my sister, always Steven. Mm-hmm. Steven, I'm looking forward to that new that new body, son, when Jesus comes back. I'm like, Ma, I understand. I know what you mean now. Me too.
All right, I'm going to put this up, and then I got to get up there for about 10 minutes. Hello, Marilyn.
Okay, so
Come over here with your one.
we need. Equal starters. It's some information. And if it's a rule, if it's a rule, which is okay, if it's information, here, she needs to say, don't you think?
Yes, it's point of order. I need to get better at making sure they say those things before they.
It's a long time. Sending it takes that 2 process. Who's the members of tomorrow? We gotta build some back up. You can't lose anybody or lead, you know. Any of our friends.
Hey, Kenny, did you have the extension cord last time? Is it in here?
Oh,
I killed somebody.
I think I have one in there.
Are you Kenny?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bo Renshaw.
Oh,
Yeah, good to meet you. I
absolutely.
was just talking to Jim. I just got in some cards for my first big fundraiser. I was just checking to say, can I put those out like at the registration or how
I
y'all
believe
handle
so.
it? Is that okay?
RPA headquarters handles the building here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it shouldn't be.
You think
a
it's
problem.
okay? Okay.
And if you want to say, like during the new announcements, if you want to talk about
Okay.
your campaign, you can do that.
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
Hey, neighbor.
Okay.
Good, how are you? Tacky. Well, I've been here since. I've been, but I've been here since It's like, How you girls?
Yeah, she's playing volleyball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's so she loves it and she's passionate about it. So she's up there doing that. And, she's like 4 years. So we'll see. And then oldest daughter, Sally, is an volleyball. My son graduates
Who is that? It was quite clear. So I was like, I'm going to go there. When we're in town. That's great. Yes, somebody reported that.
Just say hi or whatever. Oh, yeah, of course. I'm going to put some of those cards out.
Meeting will start in about 5 minutes.
They don't want to do it either.
That's okay.
All right, folks, it's 6:05. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Get started here. Just as a reminder, the way we're going to conduct this meeting, of course, will be by Robert's Rules of Order. If you need some information, just raise your hands. Wait for me to call on you. Do formal things to say as a point of information. If you have any questions on those proceedings. We're going to start with the invocation. Mel Chapman to do that. If you'll please stand.
Will you pray with me? Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for your great blessings upon America and your great blessings upon Arkansas. Father, you have called us to be leaders in our party here in Arkansas. And Father, we pray that as we gather together today, that we would conduct ourselves the way that we should be, that we would adhere to the principles of our party, and that we would always speak in a manner that is blesses each other and also blesses you. Father, guide us as we conduct business today. And Father, will you lead us in everything we do? And we ask this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mel. And I've asked Jim England to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, next on our agenda is the roll call of present members and proxies. And over the mic number to Jill. She can call out names.
All right, Angie Fisher, Allison Allen, Henry Gus Allen, Jim England,
Here.
Marilyn England. Here. Glenn Ballard is proxy by Paige Ballard. Here. Teresa Ballou. Here. Jim Bell. Here. Laura Bell. Here. Carolyn Brown. Sandy Bird. Mel Chapman.
Here.
And Sylvia Chapman is proxy by Mel. Larry Mark Clinton. Thurlow Cobb. Del Paul Glazier.
I have his proxy.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And Phyllis Cobb Glazier. Don Cox.
Here.
Bob Craig.
Here.
Joanne Craig.
Here.
Amber Crawford. Don Purdy. Dale Custer. Gary Davis. Rebecca Davis. Shannon Dennis. Kay Dillahay. Tansel Dillahay. Liz Edwards. Stephen Finnegan.
Here.
Marvin Fisher. Dale Flamen. George Foster. John Fretz.
Here.
Malcolm Cook. John L. Fulmer.
Here.
Linda Goff.
Here.
Rick Goff.
Here.
And Kevin Morgan is proxy by Stephen Finnegan. Sloan Breland. Ginger Griffin. Rita Hall. Pamela Hamby. Shara Hampton.
Here.
Marianne Harrington. And Belinda Harris Ritter is proxy by Teresa Ballou. Edward Herrera Wood. William Jess Holloman. Pamela Hooper. Anita House.
Here.
Amy Howard. Joan Huffman is proxy by Jim England. Iverson Jackson. Ryan James. Raymond Jarvis. Shirley Jarvis. Allison Johnson. Mark Johnson. Richard Johnson. And Tara Johnson. Tom Jones. Catherine Justice. Dane Justice III. Dane Justice IV. Jackie Kaufman.
Here.
Joe Keaton. AJ Kelly, Jamie Land, Rick Langston,
Here.
Kathy Manuzak, Scott Manuzak,
Here.
Reed Martin is proxied by Teresa Blue, Mike Masuko,
Here.
June Matheny, Janice Maxey, Karen Maynard, Seth Mays, Becky McHughes,
Here.
Kimberly McKay, Rick McKay, Jonathan McNally, Susan Metters, Barbara Mills,
Here.
Dennis Mills,
Here.
Diane Mullers is proxied by Jackie Kaufman, Kathy Mueller, Carla Nettles,
Here.
Angela Wynn is proxied by Kenny Wallace, Mary Olm, Christian Olson, Melissa Olson, Vicki Payne,
Here.
Matt Carr,
Present.
Chris Powell, Harry Pratt,
Here.
Doris Reed, Doug Reed, Sue Reynolds, Mary Rock, David Scott,
Here.
Kathy Schultz, Tom Schultz, Mary Silfies is proxy by Jackie Kaufman, Clay Smith, Simone Snyder, Robert Steinbeck, Daryl Stevens, Jennifer Stevens,
Here.
and Roy Stevens is proxied by Jennifer Stevens, David Sterling, and Janelle Sturmer and Walter Sturmer are proxied by me, Phil Stowers, Anna Swallow, and Brock Thompson and Nikki Thompson are both proxied by Jim Bell, Vicki Tuthill, James Wallace, Kenny Wallace,
Here.
Pat Wallace, Doc Washburn, Carrie White, Michael White, Chris Williams, Chris Yarborough, and Paul Zander. All right, did I miss anybody?
Just a correction, Sylvia Chapman had showed up.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Good job, Jill. Moving along, next we have the corrections and approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Okay, you said to remove to approve. I need a second for that. Second. Any discussion? Well, if no discussion, all approve the minutes by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Up next, we'll have the treasurer's report.
Okay, I am submitting to you the treasurer's report. This is the second quarter report that I submitted to the Secretary of State. So we had a beginning balance, excuse me, $15,404.02. Contributions to date are $1,997.40. Expenses today, $252.62. So we have an ending balance of $16,668.12. And so during this period, we did close what was called the operating account, and it had $772 in it, moved it to the committee's account. So now this is the ending balance, and we no longer have that operating account, and this group approved that. So that's the report.
Next up on the agenda, we have membership section. Do we have any guests? Yes. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Brandon Fields. I'm 18 years old, and this is my first time here.
Great.
I'm Anna Fields, that's my son, and new here too. Phil Republican, all my life, and I, so I just felt like I could be involved.
All right, any other guests? Do we have any
Sorry, Bo is here.
Okay, 6.
Yeah, I thought you saw that. I can. I'm Bo Richard, candidate for state representative district 7. So I'll tell you a little bit more about myself in a second. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely welcome. All right. Do we have any nominations for any new members? Yes, sir.
We have Nate and Susan Lugo right here, and they moved that they would be admitted by acclamation.
I'll second.
They've been nominated. It would be for membership. So we wait till next meeting and tell. No, we did it before.
Yeah, we already nominated, actually, this is the.
Oh, this is the vote and it's nomination. Okay. Oh, okay. Correction, sorry about that. So we are actually voting on new members. We voted yes.
Wait, when were they nominated?
The last meeting?
Last meeting or the one before.
Last meeting.
Doing it, 7 motions.
It's not nominated.
Yeah, they're voting today. Yes, if you could correct your motion, have voted again, let me nominate.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't say it right. So they would be admitted, I said, or voted in by acclamation.
Okay, it's a nomination to vote two members in by acclamation, seconded by Steve Fagan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Yes, sir.
I'm going to nominate this new couple that just came in, mom and her son. Let's get them on the record now as nominated. So next time, should you decide to come, fill out the paperwork and check for $40 now, isn't it? And we'll get you.
It's 45.
It's 45 now? There you go. So officially put them in on the nomination status.
All right, they've been nominated. Are there any other nominations for new members? That is it. Now we're moving along. We have reports from committees. Do we have any reports from the legislature or from the legislative committee?
Yes. Okay, well, hello, everyone.
Go ahead and take a mic.
Okay, our report, we have, I'd like to talk tonight about election procedures, and in 2025, we passed several new laws to strengthen election procedures. Act 978 requires county boards of election commissioners to provide early voting in every city with a population over 15,000. Act 282 clarifies how early voting locations are established. Act 274 mandates a signer must read a petition ballot title in the presence of a canvasser. Act 218 requires canvassers to inform potential petitioners that petition fraud is a Class A misdemeanor. Act 115 aligns the rules for paid canvassers in local option elections. Act 240 requires canvassers to review a copy of a potential petitioner's photo ID before collecting a signature. That means if you're in the if you're at a location shopping and are out in the parking lot and someone approaches you and you want to sign the signature, you will be asked to provide them with your photo ID. Okay, just so you know, in case you think that's a plain point of ground. It's the law now, if you want to sign it. Act 272 requires the Secretary of State to post all approved ballot titles and the full text. And Act 921 simplifies and aligns procedures for municipal elections. No, it's changing some of the runoff processes and makes it so that more of our elections are on the same day, and that's unified. I think it'll be interesting and a little bit confusing as this is all implemented. And so to help you, I have a handout that will direct you with places to go to log in and look. We have the City of Little Rock YouTube channel. This is interesting. The first thing that happens on this is you get a greeting from the mayor. Hello, this is Mayor Frank Scott. And you will see all kinds of events and press conferences, the archives of all the city board members and all of that. It's very interesting and there's a lot of resources there if you're interested. Pulaski County helpful links include the Pulaski County Clerk's Office. Through the Pulaski County Clerk, you'll get county election dates, a candidate handbook, forms and filing. Through Vote Pulaski AR, that's our county election commission where there's poll worker training, past election data, voter registration status, voter forms, and that's where you can apply to be a poll worker. So those are two separate things, but all under the county. And then the third under the county is the live stream and archive of all of our quorum court meetings, minutes, agenda, and ordinances. So if you want to be involved in any of those kind of things that are going on, it's all right there. On the Secretary of State, there's two options for you. One is for elections for voters. That's where you can register to vote. Absentee military candidate searches. It even has a guide on how to conduct a voter registration drive, how to contact your elected officials, and there's a video series on elections and ballot issues. So that's very helpful. The link is right here. Also, if you're interested in searching candidate and campaign financial forms, like the one that Jackie just had up here for years and years and all that, have nothing else to do, they're all uploaded there at this link. For the state of Arkansas, ongoing and upcoming legislative committee meetings, agendas, and related documents, I have the link to that. Next Monday, the public health is going to be talking about wage increases and things to do with interim studies on fairness and pay. There's a lot going on there. But as I told you, these committee meetings are things that you can go to if you're interested in it. If you can't go, you can watch them online and archived. So familiarize yourself with the General Assembly website. The documents are all there. It's quite interesting. Also, if you are interested in applying to be appointed to a state board or commission, I have the link for how to do that through the governor's office. All boards and commissions require an online application. You'll be required when you start, it takes a pretty long time to do it, to submit a very detailed application, a resume. You will also have to provide information because a background check is conducted as part of the initial part of the application process. There's a drop-down box that lists all of our state boards and commissions, and you can select more than one to be considered for. On those boards and commissions, there's specific qualifications and openings, so you might not fit that opening, but those applications are good for at least 2 years once you've completed the online application to be considered. So if you have an idea that you want to be on a board and commission for the state, this is a link to go to. And then the last, I have 2 links here to the Arkansas GOP, that's us, rules, and another link to our platform. So I think this will be a good reference sheet for you. The second page of this has something that I think is really important as elections are gearing up. And it is a rule within our party that when there are elections within the party that are contested, in other words, more than one person running for the same office in the primary, we are not allowed as a county committee to endorse one over the other. We're to stay neutral, and then once the primary occurs and there's a primary candidate for our party, then as a party we support that or not. But I just wanted to caution you on that because we're going to be having various candidates come who may or may not have opponents by the time November gets here. And so for us to commit, like, oh yeah, we're going to back you, this or that, it's important to be cautious about that. And all of your individual situations may be different. As an example, I'm an officer with the Federation of Republican Women, which means I cannot endorse anybody anyway, at any time. So, well, I can endorse Republican candidates, but anyway, just be cautious and be aware of that when your committees are meeting, or we have guests here. Also, when someone's a candidate, we do need to give equal time, equal standing on our agenda and program for any of our candidates to have that time to speak to us, because that's the fair way to do things. So in that, I'm looking forward to someone to talk from Secretary of State, the other two candidates. We've already had one here. I know you'll get that scheduled. Do y'all have any questions? And I'll start passing the handout. Yes, sir.
Early on, you said something about if you were out in a parking lot, and somebody approached you and you wanted to sign something. What were you talking about?
They will ask you for your ID. And so don't be surprised by that. That's a new law.
Petition, I think it's asking about petition.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, how about initiatives?
If someone
It's a
is,
new law, it's taking effect.
if someone is circulating petitions for signatures, one of the new laws is that they will be requesting your ID before you are able to sign that petition.
What if they don't?
Then they've broken the law.
And to whom do we report
It would be reported to the Attorney General Election Integrity.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Yes,
On
sir.
that Secretary of State's page, you mentioned about campaign finance. Is there any videos that show you how to access that?
I'm with you. It's not easy. There's one place that you go to and they've got a dashboard, but then there's another where everything up until 2017 is archived. So there's an old system, and then there's the new one. And that's a great suggestion when our Secretary of State candidates come. What will you do to make the website more user-friendly?
Well,
It's tough.
I did it one time and you were able to access things like who donates to them.
You can still see
And
that.
where they're spending their money. Gee, maybe I'll brush up on that and get a training thing. Would you like that?
Yeah.
It be that form that she shows online right now for our treasury stuff.
Well, it's there. I mean, I figured out how to zoom through it pretty quick. Anyway, it was the top donors and the this and the that, and you can call up by PAC, you can do all of that, but you do have to be a bit of a frequent flyer. It's not easy, folks, but it is there.
I didn't know.
Anytime I've called and asked them about it, they've been helpful, so.
And you can also discuss that. When's the next legislative committee meeting?
The next legislative committee meeting?
Yeah, for this committee.
We've not had any formal meetings yet.
Okay.
We're mighty, we're small but mighty.
All right. Keep us posted. Thank you, Teresa. Next is a report regarding the quorum court. Let's see, quorum court members here. We have a report what's going on with the Pulaski County Quorum Court. Seeing none. Any report on the government, city, county, or school governments? I believe last meeting we had someone announce they are running for mayor. That was a pretty significant thing. All right. Any report regarding the elections or from, I don't see any election commissioners?
Michael White sat in for me today, and he just texted me and said, I told him I can't make the meeting. I have promised my daughter I would help her, so.
All right. I don't believe the other election commissioners here. All right, moving right along. Any other of the Pulaski County Republican committees that we have? Any reports from any of them? Yes, outreach or, okay. All right, yeah, we'll do a report from the outreach committee.
Okay, our last meeting was July 7th. And, the obvious is we're in a Democrat-heavy county, and we are really staying focused on laying the groundwork, playing the long game of educating voters, through our community involvement and volunteerism. So we're really focusing very hard on that, figuring out, where we can plug in, bringing this group ideas on where you can plug in. Matt Picard, our elections committee, is actually designing a website. We need a website. We don't have an active website. Thank you. So we will be looking at that at our next meeting, August 4th, and then bringing it to the body here, along with the cost for that and all that. We're going to review business cards next time at our outreach committee. Just want something really simple, cheap, that we can hand out to you all, so as you go out into the community that you have a way to share our information. Several of our members of the committee are working on different ideas to bring to you. Mike Harris is working on community events that we can go to inform people of who we are, what we're doing. Pickleball was even brought up, which might be exciting. Daryl Stevens and Jim Bell are working with pastors, trying to identify if we can show the letter to the American church, and get people involved in learning what the truth is. I've got some sign-up sheets up here. I'm just trying to come up with some ideas on volunteerism in the community. One of them is a couple of friends of mine. They've been very involved in the Central Arkansas Library System. And I know Teresa was at one time, maybe still is, very concerned about this. It's concerning. You go down to the main library, and I've seen homeless people, I've seen sexual materials. I mean, so I met with the collections department. They are, using our taxpayer dollars to buy this material. So I've got a sign-up sheet here if you are interested in working on that issue. One of our members is trying to work with Jason Rankford to try to figure out, okay, how can we attend the board meetings? I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to appoint some new board members. What can we do to potentially make a change in how the collections department is adding to that library? So again, I have a sign-up sheet here, and I thought Teresa brought up an excellent point last meeting and this meeting, but the city of Little Rock and Pulaski County both have committees. And that's a great way for us, conservative, Christian-minded people, to plug in, sign up, and whatever the application process is, we need to do that. Charlie Kirk, I don't know if y'all have read his little book. I came across it, How We Will Win. Well, we'll win by actually getting involved and actually doing things that matter in our community. And, we're Democrat heavy, so we're not going to be able to run candidates and just win. We have to lay the groundwork. We have to educate people. We're researching databases to see, who are these unregistered voters? Who are these Republican voters that don't go vote? So your outreach committee is working on these things, and we hope that you'll get involved. But anyway, I do have sign-up sheets for the city of Little Rock and Pulaski County. I would be happy to help you research how to, make the application to get on one of these committees. So I just feel strongly that we need to get involved. Yes.
Can I say something that some people may take the wrong way, but I don't mean it to be? We need to outreach to Christians, but there's a segue between people who believe in God and people who aren't exactly comfortable with word, maybe as evangelical as we are. And they're good people, but they feel left behind, or maybe they aren't accepted by, I'm going to just say big C, Christians. So there needs to be a segue of some sorts, and I think these things like Jennifer Lancaster was talking about, doing more animal
Why don't
right
you give her a
to.
mic, because everyone can't hear what she's saying.
I'm sorry, I
No,
just
use the
mean,
mic so you can give everyone to hear.
this is, I wouldn't do this, but I'm moving, and this is something I really feel is important. There's a lot of people out there that may not go to church every Sunday, and because they drink, but they do believe in God. And they may not feel as accepted or comfortable possibly when we just throw the big C at them automatically. Like a lot of people I know are Christians because of the way they behave. I mean, Mike Accuso, I mean, you have this lady there and everything. These people, Jennifer Lancaster's like that. I mean, I know they're Christians because of the way they behave. Teresa and I would disagree on a lot of things, but we can talk. You know, so there has to be a segue of some sorts to make us more approachable to people that it scares them off when they think country club Republicans. It scares them off when they think, you know, it's so much evangelical stuff because they feel like they're not good enough. And they are, but maybe in this culture we have, there's a lot of people who just go, I'm sinners, you know, I'm a sinner. And accept it because they don't feel like that anyone's reaching out to them in a way that we have to meet them where they are. I don't take up any more time, but I think that we really need to kind of think about that when we talk to people about meeting them where they are, because I'm a better person for being in Arkansas. Like, cuss words went down, when they go to kids, I'm not to learn how to cuss again.
Truly not.
Yeah, but, you know, just being around and everything that happened with my son, you guys have been amazing. It doesn't matter, like, patriots, establishment, whatever you want to call it, everyone wrapped their arms around me. And if we can do that same type of thing to just average people who maybe live in a hollow, you know, I had relatives that have still had outhouses, you know, and their black tie event would be something to VFW. I mean, we kind of need to meet people where they are, is all I'm trying to say, and like keep that in mind when we talk about Christianity, because they're still good people, and they can be brought along. Y'all have brought me along a long way. I mean, just being kind and loving and true and genuine, and then they're more open to the big C word, is all I want to say. I'm sorry for taking up so much time.
Okay, that's all I have. Is there any other questions?
And the outreach committee, when will they meet next, or? August the 4th. All right, moving along.
What time on August 4th?
6:30, whole hog on West Market.
Okay.
Okay, 6:30 for the whole hog on West Markham, August the 4th. Will be the outreach committee meeting. All right, if there are no other reports of any other committees, we'll move on to new business. Are there any motions or resolutions we put forward?
I have an idea, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking about the name tags, and, you know, a lot of groups, you know, you go in and they have the name tag, you get the time out with the magnet so it doesn't make holes in your clothing. It would not be a bad idea to get that for us, especially if we're gonna be going out, maybe campaigning, and it just says your name and Pulaski County Republican Committee. I don't think it would, if we all bought our own, it would probably cost us between 15 to 20 bucks. And I know you're gonna say, Steve, go find out how much it's gonna cost.
I was about to say, wonder if the Republican Party headquarters have.
Over $15 a piece.
Well, depends on the name tag. If you get sticky ones.
It kind of gave me the idea when she
Yeah, I
was talking, Jackie was talking about it, so.
This is 11 bucks.
Yeah.
Discount trophy on 12th Street, 11 bucks.
Discount trophy. You want official name tags. When you first said name tags, I just thought of the sticker ones, but.
Once in the bank.
I'm talking about the permanent ones for, like I said, the election season.
It's not a bad idea. All right.
I can get quotes.
Okay. She will look at that. She will be getting a quote for the cost for name tags for everything. Any other new business or? Yes, sir.
I've heard several times since I started coming here about we want to turn the area red. So my first question, and have to do with what I'm talking about, is do we in fact have a written plan with priorities on what we're going to do to turn the area red? If the answer is no, then I suggest we make one with specific things that we're going to do and the priorities of them. And associated with that is some of the things we want to do may have to do with getting bills passed in the state legislature. And does anybody know that there is a whole organization right near the state capitol that has one function? When the state representatives and stuff are in session and they're working on the bills, they send, they send them out to this office to have them put in the correct form and redo the wording so they're legible. Senators and stuff quite frequently are not legible when the forms come out. My daughter used to work in that. And I know from working at bureaucracies for a long time that the person who first has the paper on the table, the final result usually comes out in some version of that because it's easier for people to work with something that's already there than to come up with it from scratch. And I would suggest if we have anything that we need to get done in the state legislature, that we get together and have an actual bill written up in the correct form, the wording and everything else. Check that office and see if there are any Republicans over there, that we can get some of them to help with it. And then get our representatives to somebody to introduce it, under the theory that the first paper on table will usually be some form of what finally comes out. And it's easier for them to do it if we've got it almost finished for them. That's all I have to say.
Is that the ALC? What is that? Is that the ALC? What is that?
The name of that group?
The Bureau of Legislative Research, BLR. Okay.
Yes, BLR is an organization that finalizes and writes on the bills. There is, I believe, the fiscal session is coming up in January, but there probably is some legislation being worked on right now regarding that. Yes, ma'am.
I was just gonna mention Wayne Beach used to give tours of the Capitol, and we would go there. I do game show when we're there in session, and sometimes it's good to watch them so that they know we're watching them, and so that we can understand better how things work. But I've been on some of those with him while they're doing the legislation, and you see them, you get to meet them, and put your 2 cents in. So it might be interesting to see if Wayne would do that for us. As we're right here in Pulaski, we should be more active. The Capitol's right there.
Capitol tours.
Well, not just tours, eyeballs. Eyeballs on things.
And watching them.
Field trips.
Yes.
Too many field trips. Multiple field trips. Yes, ma'am.
I would just point out, the reason this committee exists is to recruit and elect candidates. That's our number one, that's it. That's it. That's it. And so right now, because the bond season is coming up, we can't go red if we don't have Republican candidates. So a lot of the things that get focused on are, one, things we don't have control over, and number two, we don't have, we left 42 unchallenged positions 2 years ago. 42. 21 2 years before that. That's not okay. That's not a plan to go red. So recruiting candidates, that's job one. Job one.
this gentleman said about strategic plan is a great idea, and that is doing an analysis of all the districts that are within Pulaski County as far as JP, State House, City Council, where we can look at it and say a Republican has a reasonable chance of beating the Democrat in this district. It's maybe 40-40, and then the rest of them 20% independent or whatever. And that goes on the strategic plan, so we use our dollars and our time in a good manner.
We also need to make sure that these comfortably read people understand that they represent us. Like, just because you've been in, and Teresa tried to help me with this, just because you've been elected doesn't mean you don't that you don't have to take care of people, because that's your job, to represent us. And not your liaison's job when your son dies in a foreign country. You might want to give them a phone call and be like, hey, I'm not reporting a pothole. None of our representatives did this. The liaisons were all great. But you would think that someone would care. We need people who care. And I'm not trying to blast anybody, but it's been since the 29th my son passed away. They wrapped my son's coffin with the Ukrainian flag, with the American flag over it, and played the Star-Spangled Banner. They honored him more than even getting a phone call from my representatives. He signed up for the military in this state. His brother wanted to go to the funeral. I was trying to get logistical help. At least call me and tell me you can't do that. If somebody can't help you with something like that, it really broke my heart as an Arkansan, because the community is amazing and we deserve better than that. It's not cool that you're up here and we're down here. So the people that are elected still need to know that they represent us, because that's garbage if that happened. I'm sorry, it broke my heart, because the community has been wonderful. Representatives need to realize you're not in an ivory tower. And I know they know, because everybody in Arkansas knows at this point, so I made sure. And people reached out, other than Teresa tried to help me, other people, Mindy McLendon reached out. They all know, but they don't kept repeating the line, we're not in that war. And another wanted to say that they might be using abusive power if they help me. Okay, it's not abusive power to go to, Colombian dad or whatever, but we need to vet the people and let them know we are watching them. You don't just have that seat. You're not entitled to that seat. You still represent us. And if you're an American, like they go save Americans in Afghanistan, you can at least recognize your constituent son when I'm begging for help and I don't know what to do. And by the time anybody even helped me figure out what to do, the funeral was over. But I'm sorry, that's my personal story, but we need to let them know that you still represent us, not just DC. And so you're not comfortably bred. Nobody should be comfortable in their seat if they're not representing us. And I'm not saying that to slay all the people and say they're horrible. I'm just saying that could have been, okay, let's call it a political win if one of them would have got in touch with me after all this. That would have been a great photo op. I don't even want a photo op. I never wanted any of that. Just by the end of it, I just wanted recognition that an American died and you can't recognize it. And it's pretty disgusting that all I could get were liaisons. They all knew. And I'm sorry to take up your time, but I'm on a rant. If we're going to go with Republicans, they need to know they represent us. You don't just get to go to DC and forget about us and have other people take care of us. You are our person. You better earn it.
Right. Thank you for that.
Yes. I'm sorry.
No, that's understandable. Well, if there are no more motions or new resolutions, we do have.
I just got a quick comment. I wanted to piggyback on something you shared, Jackie, about when you ran for JP. Let us not underestimate the importance of having candidates run in positions that it's going to be a difficult haul, because then that other person on the other side of the aisle has to spend time and resources to actually run a campaign. And what we may forget is any extra dollars and time and effort they've got to spend campaigning is a draw on their resources. If we just let them run roughshod, then those are resources they can dump in another race to, where it may be closer. So thank you for, and everybody else who did run a race that was kind of difficult, because we forget about that.
Thanks for the point. Actually, moving along regarding that, regarding announcements, we actually have somebody who is an announce. He actually running for office. I didn't know about him until we made the agenda, but he was actually one of our guests, and I wanted to go up here to talk a little bit about what he's doing.
Thank y'all for having me. Sompo Renshaw, state candidate for state representative District 70, which is North Little Rock, Sherwood. If you don't have all that memorized already, all the districts, I was looking at it last night and my head started swimming. First of all, I'd like to thank this for your service, your son, ultimate sacrifice, and it is shameful that it wasn't recognized, and so we all need to apologize for that. So it's incredible that that wasn't recognized. So a little bit about myself. I just incredibly interesting listening to the dialogue. I grew up in Texas. Don't hold it against me. I'm the son of a truck driver in a Delta airline scheduler who earned their way to a football scholarship at Washington Baptist University. Go Tigers! I met my wife. She's native North Little Rock person. She is the daughter of a former Baptist minister, Park Hill Baptist Church over there in North Little Rock, if you're familiar with that. I lost my father-in-law in February. And so that's how I ended up in North Little Rock, you follow the spouse. And so I'm a proud Arkansan. I've been in Arkansas way, way longer than I've been in Texas. And so I love the state. I love my community. I have 3 kids. I have one that's about to graduate from seminary and follow in his granddad's footsteps. He's looking for a position, interviewing right now. My 2 girls, one's in audiology school at Vanderbilt, and I have my youngest who's about to be a sophomore at Drury University in Springfield, and she's a big volleyball player. So I'm a physical therapist and an athletic trainer. I have 5 locations of our practice: North Little Rock, Sherwood, Jacksonville, Hot Springs Village, and just have been able to build that from the ground up. I merged my initial practice with my partner Stan Harris, and he recently retired, and I have another partner now, and we're just actively growing. We're just been out there trying to grow a business, small business in this world, and do what we can. So, the interesting thing about kind of looking back, I've been asked about, why you want to run and things like that. And so a lot of the stuff y'all were speaking to on getting candidates, getting red, turning it red, really spoke to me because Carlton Wing is a friend of mine. Our kids grew up together playing baseball. That's how I first got to know Carlton Wing, who's right now state rep for District 70. That's how I met Carlton. And I love it. When I think of being a representative, I want to represent my community, and I love my community. Carlton, after approached me and said it's time that I step aside. His wife, Lee, and him thought about that and said it's time to step aside. And I've had some people interested, but I think you're the most electable. I have a lot of connections with the school districts in North Little Rock and Sherwood. And so I have all walks of life walk into my practices. I feel like I treat them exactly the same, no matter who they are, and so they know me. So the one thing I would add to some of the conversation you guys were having about turning it red, if you want to win, get people who everyone knows because they know they're good people, and it doesn't matter because they know that candidate. So, I've gone around, I've started, I'm a month in, and the overwhelming response I've heard is, Bo, I know you, and you're good people, and so I support you. And so it's humbling. And so, you try to, when you're raising your family and you're out there and you're trying to have a good business and do the best you can on that, you want to have a good reputation. And so I feel like I've built that up enough for people to say I'm good people, running for this position. And so I can't thank Carlton Wing enough, because he has laid the groundwork for Red in a district that he told me after the fact, oh yeah, by the way, now that you said you'll run, it's the hardest district in the state to get elected in. I was like, thanks a lot. And I learned the word purple. I've learned that really, really well. And Carlton has had some very, very tight races. So if any of y'all have helped him out, thank you. I've been out there with you. And it's just interesting because I believed in him as a conservative. And so it was easy for me to have those conversations in my neighborhood when it said vote for conservative. And so that's a little bit about me and why I'm running. Right now I am the only candidate as of this very minute for this position on the Republican side. We will see what the next 100 days go like. When that time comes, hopefully I'll be that primary candidate, and definitely would appreciate your support. Understand that it definitely needs a wait. I get that. And so anyways, that's a little bit about me. So I really appreciate the time that you gave me to kind of introduce myself to you guys. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Bo. Then any other announcements, events that are coming up? If not, actually, I do have one announcement of an event that's of interest. On August 6th, at 9 a.m. at 501 Wood Lane Street in Little Rock, there will be a hearing regarding the State Board of Election Commissioners from Searcy County. And they will be discussing that issue. That's August 6th, 501 Woodlane Street. And it's the State Board of Election Commissioners under Cole Jester. I did invite Cole Jester when he ran as a candidate, I believe, for land commissioner. I've not heard from him. And as previously stated before, I invited Kim Hammer, who's a candidate for Secretary of State. He said he would not be available until November. And Kathy Harden, I also invited her. I've not heard from her as well. So that's the update regarding those issues. Yes, sir.
Fill me in. What is within the power of a state board of election commissioners?
This is, regarding this meeting, this is in regards to an appeal of a 14-year ban that was done to the election commissioners of Searcy County. So this will be a hearing regarding that.
Does that have anything to do with whatever Brian King filed?
Brian King, no, I'm not sure.
Brian King filed something. I'm sorry, I just found out.
That's okay, man. That's it.
He filed something saying that he was having some sort of research or study being done to find out if they can actually do that to them.
Okay, that may be part of that. What this meeting encompasses.
Yeah.
Whether or not that can be done. It just says the Searcy County hearing the State Board of Election Commissioners will have a hearing regarding the electors at Searcy County regarding the appeal of the 14-year ban. So a lot of issues. So that issue will be discussed at that meeting. So I do not know if it'll be live streamed or not, but the meeting is there if you want to attend. August 6th, 9 a.m.
Isn't there something going on here tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
To do with something to do with us, I thought, that had to do with, I'm trying to find information on it. Something that had to do with the validity of our delegates to the convention. Is that tomorrow?
I'm not aware of that event.
Okay, I'd gotten a notice about an event Friday, I'm not sure if it was, that's why I was asking, about maybe contesting the way we did our delegates. You have not heard of that at all?
I have not. I have no, I'm afraid I don't. have any information on that. That's okay. Any other announcements? All right, if there is nothing else.
Kenny, I want to clarify. Simone, is this your last meeting with us?
I'm in limbo, so I've got maybe a month or a month, 2 months maybe at the most.
Okay, well, I was going to sing that so long farewell song.
Can we have one more? You want to sing it to me, Teresa? No.
No, I'm certainly not singing anything for the musical hair.
Sign language.
All right, well, if there is nothing else, any motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Sorry, Strylaura. I don't know why. We usually have a microphone. I need to tell people to get the microphone more. Sometimes they go in runs and they don't have the mic. So yeah, when the mic's not there, it's hard to hear. Other than that, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Just our angle for more updates on what's going on. Something in front of the camera there. Overall, real simple meeting. A lot of ways to get involved. As I said before, August 4th, our committee meets at Whole Hog. That'll be the various committees that do outreach. And then August 6th is that meeting regarding the planning, the election commission. If you know of any other events, let me know. You know, when you want somebody to speak, we usually meet on the third Thursday of the month. We had to change to the fourth Thursday. But if you know anybody else that'd be interested, like a guest speaker, somebody running for office, somebody who has just some important information, then come by. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end this. You all have a great day. Subscribe to Just Right Angle for more updates on important events.